If choosing yourself feels dangerous or unthinkable, this video is going to explain why. Welcome, my name is Salimah, yoga therapist, and we are talking all things fawning, nervous system, and Kundalini yoga in this series. Welcome back. If you haven't already, please go and take a look at all the other videos leading up to this one. It'll give you some background and some more information on why this topic is so important, the topic of fawning. I got here as a result of reading the book Fawning by Dr. Ingrid Clayton. It was a real wake-up call. And the way that she described it, not as people-pleasing, but rather as a nervous system response, really hit home for me. Not only did it hit home, but it helped me to shift some patterns, to see people in my life a lot more clearly than I had been willing to do in the past. And it's helped me to arrive here where I can integrate and translate this experience for you. All of us are prone to fawning. It's not gendered. So please keep that in mind as we go through, that this isn't a failure on your part. This is, or my part, or any of our part. This is a natural way that our body has adapted to keep us safe, okay? Now, part of the unfawning process, I think, has a few different components. Number one is to recognize the pattern. Oh, there it is. There I go saying yes. What the? I don't even want to do that thing. I'm just getting along to go along, right? So number one is to recognize the pattern. Number two is to notice sensation. Notice what comes up when certain people come into the room, certain people you start interacting with. What is the response from your body? Does your body feel relaxed? Does it feel agitated? Does it feel positioning for defense? Those are all really important clues about what's going on and how to adapt to that particular situation. Okay. The third one is to start doing a physiological practice, a physical practice that will help you get into your body, because you can't read the signals from your body if you're not in your body. And by the way, may I say that a lot of us cope with stress, cope with danger by disassociating. In other words, we've associated being in the body as being unsafe, and so we hang out here in the brain. And we need practices like Kundalini yoga in order to come back in, to create safety inward so that we can start to create that safety outward. And most of us have relied on unsafe people or unsafe environments because in here doesn't feel that great. In here doesn't feel that safe. And so that's what I want to welcome you into in terms of your unfawning process, is to find a way to come back in here, into the body temple. So that was a few different elements, and then finally, unfawning is to give ourselves permission to feel uncomfortable, because a lot of our fawning attempts or patterns have come from long-standing experiences. Started in childhood, continued. Maybe some got more heightened than other. Maybe now fawning is more of your strategy, and it might have been something else in the past. So really understanding how your life has evolved and starting to sit with the discomfort of disappointing people, of sitting with the discomfort of saying no, sitting with the discomfort of changing the rules, sitting with the discomfort of prioritizing your own needs. And again, I'll say this again, this is where Kundalini yoga becomes very impactful, because there are a lot of practices within Kundalini yoga, for those of you who've been around for a while, that are very uncomfortable. Sometimes you have to hold your arms out like this for 3 minutes and it hurts and it's uncomfortable. And guess what? When you do that, sit with the discomfort, you can take that same transferable skill and sit down in front of someone and tell them the truth about how you're feeling. Maybe it doesn't come quickly, maybe it doesn't come easily, but it can come. Okay? And I want to share that concept with you because Kundalini Yoga is about provoking a response so that you can live a life that feels authentic. All right, so these are the places that we're going to be talking about. If you feel uncomfortable in setting a boundary, if you feel uncomfortable choosing yourself, if you feel uncomfortable saying no, please remember that this is part of a whole systemized way of creating compliance. This is called compliance culture, right? In order for the system to keep working, we all have to agree to keep working. And we all have to do it, we all have to agree to do it in circumstances that are sometimes dangerous, sometimes not in our best interest, that sometimes jeopardize our health and our well-being, right? So what we want to do now is start taking back our power. Because the core issue here is that a loss of safety, a long-standing loss of safety, leads to impact on the body. It means more cortisol, more adrenaline, less sleep, less nutrition, more frantic, more decision-making that's under duress, more choosing of people under, not from desire, but from compulsion. I have to have a partner. I have to do this. I have to do that. And as soon as you get there, you lose your vitality. Okay? So what we want to do is build a tolerance for choice, for being uncomfortable, and make these micro little moments where maybe you want to take a different route to work. Maybe you want to have a different hot beverage in the morning. Maybe you decide to say no. Maybe you don't go along with everybody's plans. Maybe you say, oh, that's great. I'm going to stay home because I just need to chill on the couch. Maybe you start very softly introducing those boundaries for yourself so that you can start to expand your window of tolerance. Now, sometimes exercising those boundaries and being able to unfawn, one of those starting places can be with strangers in the grocery store where there is no tie. You're never going to see them again. So you can say no. You can say, excuse me. You can say, hey, don't do that. Or don't talk to me like that. Or you can, small ways that you can start testing out your power supply. And to do this so that you can feel yourself come back online. And the more safety you can create internally, the more safety you can create externally, right? So let's do a little bit of work to move into that sphere today and really get a sense of how that could feel, all right? So unfawning, letting go of old habits, taking micro moments to assert yourself. Here are two ways that have really worked for me, and I want to pass them on to you. This one in particular came from a Kundalini yoga teacher from my way past. I take my power back as pure light. I take my power back as pure light. And again, I take my power back as pure light. So you could do this 3 times. As long as you take a breath in and you hold for a moment and just feel the power of that statement and feel the power of the breath coming in. Resource yourself. The second technique is to take your 2 fingers and start tapping on your thymus. So if you found yourself maybe in a dulled state, maybe you have found yourself in a little bit of a freeze mode, a little bit of a shutdown mode, this is a very simple gesture. You can do it in bed. You can do it when you're feeling lack of energy. You can just start tapping. And this is a way of bringing your thymus gland back online. And when your thymus gland is back online, it sends a signal to all the other little glands and organs inside of your body, and it gives them a little wake-up call, like, hey, let's go. because we want to shift our internal state so that we can shift our external state. Feel the power of that movement. Good. And letting go in 3, 2, and 1. Press in, exhale. Very short little techniques that you can do anywhere. I like it to be portable. I like to be able to walk and do something. I like to be able to do that between emails, just so that I have given myself a chance to resource. Right? So unfawning can take a little bit of time. Remember, we're shifting patterns, and shifting patterns always takes a little bit of time. It's really important to document along the way. Maybe you do 30-second videos to remind yourself, inspire yourself, keep notice of the things that are changing. Maybe you do a little bit of journaling. And you create these micro moments where you can start to assert what it is that you need. Build out your window of tolerance. Speak kindly to yourself. Okay, I'm doing something new. Of course it's uncomfortable. Of course it's uncomfortable. And just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean it's wrong. And that's the hard work. It's sitting with the discomfort of recognizing that you might have abandoned yourself, recognizing that you're going to shift patterns and people are going to react to that. And all of that is going to serve your growth. None of it's fun, but the accumulation of the change that you can inspire within yourself is required. All right, and this is on top of perimenopause. This is on top of your job, on top of your caretaking of other people, on top of caretaking for yourself. I know it's a big, tall task, but you wouldn't be here listening if it wasn't for you right now. So go ahead and do that. The link for the long-form Kundalini Yoga practice is below. It's for PTSD. It's balancing both hemispheres of the brain, really important. Sign up for my newsletter. All the links are below. And then consider coming into a closed container. 1 year of solid work on all of this so that you can feel more resourced in your life. I love that for all of us. We need it now more than ever. If you found this helpful, like, subscribe, do the things, comment, and share this with a friend, somebody who you know needs this information to feel supported. Until next time, my name is Salimah, yoga therapist. Lots of love to you. The final episode is coming next.